The Department of Homeland Security continuing their efforts across the country to go after what they say are criminal illegal aliens in the country illegally committing crimes, but because of sanctuary cities like Chicago and elsewhere across the country, they're having to hit the streets to go after these individuals because of a lack of cooperation from local law enforcement. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Get the headlines in your inbox. Go to thecentersquare.com and sign up for the newsletter. Friday, Kristi Noem, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, made a stop in Chicago suburbs to talk about the efforts they have underway to address illegal immigration in the state of Illinois and across the country. And she says that they've made many arrests.
Since President Trump has taken office, we have arrested hundreds of thousands of these illegal criminals. I'm here today because the elected leaders in this state of Illinois are ignoring the law. In fact, they're being obstructionists when it comes to getting dangerous criminals off of their streets. They are deciding that dangerous criminals that are murderers, rapists, money launderers, have committed assault, that are trafficking children, are more important than the families that live in the communities here. That includes Governor Pritzker, Mayor Johnson, and others who have worked so hard to protect these dangerous criminals. They'd rather be a sanctuary state and continue to put those individuals above American citizens.
So you've got the ongoing debate. Obviously, we've heard a lot from Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson in response to this question of increased immigration enforcement in Illinois and Chicago. Johnson equates it to a whole host of just horrible historical analogs. He says that they're going to stand up against the administration. They've got an effort to notify individuals in the country as non-citizens of their rights and when they have to agree to a warrant and when they don't have to agree to a warrant, and also defending in court the state and local sanctuary policies that prohibit law enforcement from cooperating with immigration officials. And we've heard the governor and the mayor and all Democrats in between really push back against the Trump administration going after illegal aliens and saying that they're going to stand by the policies, even in federal courts where that case is still pending, even though a federal judge said that the case is dismissed, but the Department of Justice can put in another amended complaint to address this. So all of this, boiling around, and you've got ICE continuing to move forward. And Kristi Noem in Illinois Friday saying that ICE is just not getting any cooperation from local officials.
Anybody who serves in law enforcement would say they're used to partners. They're used to being able to call up a local law enforcement officer, a sheriff, a highway patrol officer, and say, hey, do you have any information on this individual that is a murderer that's been cited in your city? That's not happening in Illinois. And when we're calling on those most dangerous individuals, when they're being released from your prisons, they're not even letting us know, not honoring our detainers. When we lodge a detainer against someone, it's when you let that person out of jail who's been paying the consequences, let us know so that we can pick them up and get them out of the country. Illinois is not partnering with us on that, which is very, very difficult when we know that those dangerous criminals are going to run free.
Obviously, if you have somebody who's in the country illegally getting arrested for a crime, they go to jail for a moment. In Illinois, we've got no cash bail, so they just get processed. And police, when they process that individual, if they're an illegal alien, they can't find that out. They can't even ask about that individual's immigration status, and that alone is a red flag for DHS. And if DHS knows, that somebody is, say, in Illinois prison, they're an illegal alien, but they committed a crime, convicted, and they're in prison, and they're about to get out, DHS says the prisons aren't notifying DHS that they have an illegal alien that's being released from prison. So again, that lack of cooperation. And then you have on the other side of things with the political rhetoric that's been used from Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.B. Pritzker and other Democrats, and the ongoing they talk about the Gestapo and people being sent off to foreign gulags, and just that rhetoric altogether. Obviously, it's going to trigger some people to commit violence against immigration and customs enforcement agents, something that Noem highlighted in Chicago Friday in the Chicago suburbs is a growing problem across the country.
Yesterday, we announced that now our ICE officers are facing a 1,000% increase in assaults against them. And you read about the stories and hear what's happening from coast to coast every day in our national media and in our press. But it's in large part due to the pro-sanctuary state and cities policies and the language of elected bureaucrats and politicians that are reckless with their lives and endangering their families.
And here we are with the ongoing efforts from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, despite a lack of cooperation from Illinois law enforcement. And I imagine there's some that are law enforcement officers in Illinois. Trust me, I hear from them privately in text communications. But you've got people who are saying morale is down, and it's not just the immigration issue here, where they can't even ask an individual their immigration status, despite maybe it being obvious to the law enforcement officer. That's hurting morale. And then you've got the end of cash bail and the Safety Act that is also impacting officer morale. But despite the blocking of cooperating law enforcement with ICE to go after illegal aliens in the country and maybe suspected criminal illegal aliens, Noem says there are other efforts that ICE is undertaken and the Department of Homeland Security is undertaken, including that app that essentially says, hey, get out of the country on your own volition and we'll give you $1,000 or something like that, and you may be able to come back in legally. She says that that's actually been pretty successful as well.
The 20 million campaign was to send a message to people that if they were here in this country illegally, that they should go home on their own. If they wait until we arrest them and we have to remove them, they'll never get the chance to come back to the United States. So it wasn't just on the app, it was also encourage them to voluntarily go home. We know thousands and thousands of people have used the app, but we also know that hundreds of thousands of people have left on their own, not utilizing a government program to do so. I've been to, I think, 10 different Central American and South American countries and visited with their presidents, with their foreign ministers, interacted with the Department of State, and over again I'm hearing that hundreds of thousands of their citizens are coming home voluntarily.
It's interesting to hear you've got hundreds of thousands of criminally illegal aliens that may be going home on their own instead of being swept up by ICE on the streets of places like Chicago. How that's going to play out publicly with the ongoing politics. We'll continue to watch that here. It is the Center Square with Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell and wake up with us each and every weekday morning.